If you just switched from Windows to Linux Mint Cinnamon or you are thinking about making the jump, this video is for you. I am going to walk you through the absolute essentials, like tweaking a few basic settings, learning key shortcuts, and understanding how installing apps works on Linux. Picture this. You boot into Linux Mint for the first time. You press Windows plus L to lock your screen, and nothing happens. Or a completely different menu opens up. Frustrating, right? That is the very first thing we are going to fix. With just a few small tweaks, Linux Mint will instantly feel like home. Let's get started. So let's set up a keyboard shortcut that almost every former Windows user relies on. Of course, you can always click the Start menu and select the lock icon to lock your screen, but having a quick keyboard shortcut is much faster. In your menu, search for Keyboard and open it. At the top of the window, click the Shortcuts tab. Under the System category, you will find the option for Lockscreen. By default, Linux Mint sets this to Control plus Alt plus L. You can actually keep that if you like, because Mint lets you set up to 3 different shortcuts for the exact same action. Click on the word Unassigned and then press the key combination on your keyboard. If a warning pops up saying the shortcut is already assigned to something else, simply choose to override it. That is it. You have now set up your shortcut. Do not be confused if the screen displays Super plus L. On Linux, the Windows key is officially called the Super key. Now, pressing your shortcut will lock the screen instantly. Another issue you might face right after booting into Linux Mint is that scrolling works in the completely opposite direction. When you scroll up, the page goes down, and when you scroll down, it goes up. To fix this, open your menu, search for Mouse and Touchpad, and launch it. Inside the Settings window, simply turn on the toggle for reverse scrolling direction. Once you enable that, your scrolling will work exactly the way you expect. In Linux Mint, there is no obvious button on the taskbar to switch between virtual desktops or view the desktop overview. Because of this, many new users stay on a single workspace or struggle to manage open apps. To see all of your workspaces, press Ctrl, Alt, and the up arrow key. This opens an overview of all your available workspaces. Simply click on the one you want to use. If you want to switch between your workspaces quickly, press Ctrl, Alt, and the left or right arrow key. Let us open a few applications so you can see how this works in practice. Now that we have several windows open, pressing Ctrl, Alt, and up shows the complete overview. From here, you can easily drag and drop any window into a different workspace to stay organized. There is another incredibly useful shortcut for managing your open apps. To see every open window on your current workspace at a single glance, press Ctrl, Alt, and the down arrow key. This gives you a clear visual layout of all your active applications in that workspace. And remember, if you prefer different key combinations, you can easily customize all of these shortcuts inside the keyboard settings we looked at earlier. Another thing you might notice on your system is that the whole interface looks a bit too small. The text can be hard to read, and icons might feel tiny, especially if you're using a high-resolution screen. Don't worry, this is completely normal, so let's fix that text and display sizing. In the menu, search for Display and open the Settings window. Under the Layout tab, you might only see an option to increase the interface to 200%, but that makes everything way too big, which is not what we want. To fix this, click on the Settings tab and turn on Fractional Scaling. Now, go back to the Layout tab. You will see more scaling options. Try setting your monitor scale to 125%. Now, if fractional scaling does not work well for you, or if it makes things look slightly blurry, here is a simple alternative that I personally prefer. Open your menu, search for Font Selection, and launch it. Instead of scaling the entire display, you can simply increase the font size by 1 or 2 points across all the options. Personally, I just bump each font size up by 1 point, and it looks absolutely perfect on my screen. It gives you crisp text without touching the rest of your system layout. You might also notice that the text on my screen looks a little different. That is because I applied a custom font, which looks a bit cleaner and sharper than the default Mint font. Now let's talk about customization. The Cinnamon edition of Linux Mint has a very classic look that can give off a bit of an old-school vibe. If you love how the system works, but you want a fresher look, here is how you can quickly make it look much better. First, set a nice-looking wallpaper to give your desktop a good foundation. Next, open your menu, search for Themes, and launch it. On the window, click on Advanced Settings. This brings up a window where you can manually customize every part of your system appearance. First up is the mouse pointer. Out of the box, Mint comes with a fairly limited selection of cursors, but you can easily download and install new ones from the web. Next, we have applications. This setting changes the style of your open app windows. Mint includes a variety of built-in application themes, mostly offering different accent colors and subtle visual tweaks. At the top of my list, you will notice 2 custom themes I downloaded from the web. If you want a step-by-step guide on how to install third-party themes in Mint, check out my dedicated video on Cinnamon customization. As you can see, our new theme changes the app windows and gives us modern circular control buttons. After that, we have icons. This is one of the most important settings because the default Mint icons can feel a bit outdated. A great built-in choice is Papyrus, which looks much cleaner in my opinion. You can also install custom icon packs. For example, I have 11 Twilight installed here, which gives your system a clean Windows 11 style look. And lastly, we have the desktop theme. This controls the appearance of your main panel, taskbar, start menu, and volume controls. Let's pick a different desktop theme here, and you can see how it immediately changes the look of the bottom panel and pop-up menus. See how it changes the sliders? We transformed it from this to this. Now let's talk about how to download and install new apps. While it is pretty straightforward, but having a quick guide is helpful, especially if you are coming from a different operating system. Just like Windows, Linux Mint has its own app store called Software Manager. Just open the Software Manager and you will see popular software like Discord and Spotify ready to install with a single click. Just find the app you need and hit Install. One thing that might confuse you is that some apps show 2 different versions to choose from: a system package and a flat pack. A system package comes directly from Linux Mint's official repositories, meaning those apps are maintained and supported by the system itself. A flat pack, on the other hand, comes from FlatHub, an independent app store for Linux. You can pick either version. Choosing the Flatpak version gives you better privacy and permission controls, but it usually takes up a bit more storage space because it packages all of its required files independently. Now you just have to hit install and the app will be installed on your system. If you can't find a specific app inside the Software Manager, don't worry. You can usually just go to the company's official website and download the Linux installer directly, just like you would download an .exe file on Windows. Let's say you want to download Google Chrome. Just search for it. When you reach Chrome's download page, the website will automatically detect that you are running Linux and show you Linux-specific options. This happens with most major software websites. On the Chrome download page, we get a few different options. The one we need is the 64-bit.deb file, because Linux Mint is built on top of Ubuntu and Debian. You can ignore the .rpm files, as those are meant for different Linux systems like Fedora. Once you pick the 64-bit.deb file, click Accept and Install to start downloading. After the download finishes, just open the file. It might take a couple of seconds to load the package info. When it opens, you will see a summary of the app and an Install Package button. Click that, type in your password, and the installation process will begin. Once it finishes, you will find your new app right inside your application menu. Now keep in mind that this browser download method will not work for every single app. For some programs, you won't see a .deb file on their website at all. For example, if you go to the Spotify download page, there is no simple .deb file to download. Instead, they give you terminal commands to run. If you have never installed an app using terminal commands before, this might feel a little intimidating at first. But don't worry, it is as simple as copying and pasting text. On their download page, look for the instructions for Debian and Ubuntu, since Linux Mint is based on those systems. All we have to do is copy these commands one by one. After copying the text, open the terminal and paste the command there. Now hit Enter. If it asks for your password, just type the password you use to log into your computer and press Enter. This first command just lets your system know where to safely get the real Spotify app. Now switch back over to your browser and copy that second line from the page. Once you have it, jump back to your terminal and paste it right in. This line actually has 2 commands joined together by double and symbol. The first part, sudo apt-get update, tells your system to refresh its package list so it knows about the new Spotify repository we just added. The second part is the actual command that installs the Spotify app. Hit Enter and give it a few seconds to pull down the files. Once it finishes up, Spotify will show up right here in your main menu, completely installed and ready to launch. Now, here is a quick tip. You don't need to hunt down terminal commands on the web for apps that are already in the official Mint repositories. For example, if you want to install VLC Media Player, you don't even need to open a browser. You can just open your terminal and type sudo apt install VLC. Hit enter, and it installs VLC right away. Also, on some older websites, you might see commands written as sudo apt-get install instead of sudo apt install. Both work fine, but apt install is the newer, standard way to do it, so stick with that whenever you're typing commands yourself. Those are a few essential things that will make your transition to Linux Mint so much smoother. Once you get comfortable with the basics, you can do some really cool things, like linking your PC right to your phone. With an app called KDE Connect, you can easily send files, share your phone's clipboard, and even control media right from your desktop. To set that up, check out my full step-by-step guide right here. And if you want to make your desktop look amazing, check out this video here on how to customize Linux Mint. If you ran into any issues or have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your new setup.